Welcome, 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 everybody. Move some things out of the way since Zoom is being nice and choppy and interesting today. So we are going to cover Money School. This is a brand new concept, a brand new way that we're going about doing this. We've got a 3-day training coming up, but we're doing free trainings just like this leading up to it so that we can get some of the basics out of the way so that we don't have to cover as much during the 3-day, and we can save it for some of our brand new speakers, which are going to include some things like cryptocurrency. Finally, we found the guy. Crypto, land flipping, all sorts of cool stuff we're going to cover. But you know what? Let me hit one thing before I turn this over to Steven. I don't know how many of you know this, but the key to success is the exact same key to failure. Can anyone chat in right now and let me know if everybody knows what the key to success and the same key to failure, what that is? Can anyone tell me what it is? There's one thing we have to do, and there's more to this, but just the simplest thing. Okay, mindset. That's pretty close. It's a little deeper than that, but let's see. Can anyone else get it? Not executing, planning, what else? What is the key to success that is the exact same key to failure? And let's think along the mindset way, but I'm looking for you to drill or peel the onion one more time. What is it? Habits, consistency, action. Let's keep going. Nope, not action. What else is it? There's one thing we have to do. Okay, belief is getting closer. Think mindset, think belief. What else? Commit. No, we're still not getting there. Start. Why you are doing it. Okay, that's getting there too. What else? Paradigms, retrain your brain. These are all super close. And the simplest thing to whatever here's what it is. The key to success is the same as the key to failure. And it is what we focus our time on, what we focus our mind on. That's why I said, mindset and all those things. Everybody was right. I was just trying to get us there. It's what we think about. It's really what it is. So if we think about the negative things in our life, we think about failure, we think about all the things that scare us, that's exactly what's going to happen, which is why so many people fail. They focus their mind on failing. They focus their mind on fear. They focus their mind on not being able to do something because that's what they've been conditioned to do. And the people that succeed, what do? They focus on succeeding. They focus on winning. They focus on all the tasks and the things they have to do to get where they are. But they also focus on where they're going. What is the end goal? Like if you guys could do it so simple, really, like if you had a goal, let's say you wanted to make 100,000 more this year in 2021. Let's say you wrote down your goal on a piece of paper. You wrote down, make $100,000. And let's just say every day this went in your little coat pocket. Like our president, he's got that little thing he pulls out every day to remember anything, right? Well, let's just say you had that little card to remember, because that's technically, he has that to remember what he's doing. Well, you need the same thing to remember what your goal is. So let's say that little folded up card is in your pocket every day. And when you go to bed, you put it right on the pillow or on the nightstand right there. And every day you wake up and you look at it, $100,000. You think your mind would focus on that one thing? And if you did that every day and you focused on it and you went to work with a different mindset, I want you to think about, why do you go to work? Can anyone tell me what is the reason you go to work? Why do you go to work every day? Come on, purpose. What else? What do we got? Why do you guys go to work? What's the reason every day you get up and go to work? And I'm getting somewhere. Okay. Money, but let's get a little bit more critical than that. Money, income. What else? Why do you go to work? I haven't seen survive. That's the wrong answer. So that's what I'm talking about. We're focusing on the negatives. Lifestyle should be because you love it. Bingo. Candace, let's stop right there. She nailed it. It should be because you love it. Whether you hate your job or you love your job, you should go to work ready to conquer whatever you're doing. You should go to work with the intention that it's going to be the best day you've ever had at work, because that's the only thing you can. You can only focus on the positives. Remember, if our goal is to make $100,000, you got to think positively. Okay. So what she said right there should be because you love it. Whether it is or it isn't, it's all the same. It's whatever you tell your mind. Do you see what I'm doing right now, folks? I'm trying to get you to think. And that is the key to success. So what we're going to be covering today is we're going to talk about money, just like the first song I played, right? Opportunity. You guys have heard that song from Pet Shop Boys. I think there's a new commercial running about that. Money. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your lazy money, just like the commercial that I showed with Shauna, right? Lazy money. The lazy money, I tried putting it in timeout. I tried bribing it. We're going to talk about how to make your lazy money work. We're going to talk about how you can make money, because that's what we do here at Money School. We retrain your mind and your actions to get control of your money. We literally solve your money problem. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to retrain your brains, and it's not going to happen in one training. I want you to understand this. That's why we do these 3-day trainings. That's why we do all the things that we do, because I'm not trying to pre-program you. I'm just trying to get you to see the truth about how money really works and how our whole lives we've been lied to. We've been lied to give up control of our money. We've been lied to have somebody else be in control of all of our money because we're not capable. We're only not capable of managing our own money because we tell ourselves we're not. That is the only reason. Don't even sit there and tell me that you don't know about money because you're not smart enough or because you didn't go to school for it. Nonsense. Because there's only one thing that matters about your money, and I'll tell you what it is. You care more about your money than anybody else. You do. There's no financial advisor, no broker, no one out there cares more about your money than you do. So why do you give up control of it? Simply because you haven't thought about it. Giving up control of something is because you fail or don't think about it, because you fail or think to want to learn about it. So that's what we got to change first. You see, Stephen and I, we can teach you all about money. We can teach you all the things you'd ever need to know about money, but we can't change your mindset. So when I asked you why you go to work, and some people said to survive, you don't have to go to work to survive. In today's world, really, we don't have to go to work to survive. You don't have to go to work to pay your bills. You don't have to go to work to make money. You have to go to work because you want to. And if you go to work for any other reason than that, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror and ask, why do I think that I have to do something like go to work? And you guys can rationalize with yourself, but I love Candace's answer because you should love to go to work. And if you don't love to go to work, find something that you do love and start going to work on that. Because remember, the difference between success and failure is one thing. It's what you think about. So if you think that you love to go to work, or you think that work is a means to get to your goal, which is that $100,000 or whatever your number is on that paper, then that's what we need to focus on. And I didn't mean to start there, but sometimes one of the most difficult things we have here at Money School and the Money Multiplier is mindset. And it's not your fault, folks. Listen, I want all of you to understand that none of your answers were wrong. None of your answers were wrong. You know, all those different things that everybody was saying, if I went back, beliefs and taking control and all that stuff that you were saying, why you went to work, lifestyle, survive, because, you know, take care of loved ones, all those things, those are all the right answer. But the right answer should always be because you love to do something and because you're striving for something greater. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about something greater. So, Stephen, let's get into this, man. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. This is awesome.
Sorry, I went off on a little tangent there. I just felt like we had to get the mindset right.
Well, it's so very true too. I mean, you got to love what you do. You got to get out there. I mean, life is too short. My dad always said, this is no dress rehearsal. You get one shot, you got to get out there and live it. Right. And it's so true. And, you know, what we do at Money School is not only, you know, if you're in a position where you don't like what you do, or you just haven't had the success that you know that you deserve or should be having, you know, we can help you, you know, do things that'll help with that. But ultimately the decision is going to be yours. You're going to have to make that leap of faith. You're going to have to make that, you know, jump to do something different. So, you know, a lot of times what holds people back from doing that is fear, right? So just, they're scared. They might not know what's going to happen if they actually go for it. And, you know, that's a big part of what we do, is just being there to support and give you that motivation and confidence that a lot of times that's all it takes, is a little bit of confidence, and you're able to go out there and do awesome things. So, you know, not only do we show you, you know, these different ways of doing this, but, you know, what Chris was saying about going to work, and a lot of people are writing, well, you got to have money, you got to have income, you know, absolutely. But what about this? What if you go out there and you work doing something you love and you make that money, and then you listen to what we teach you and you put that money to work? Because ultimately, if you get your money out there working for you, then you're no longer going to have to work for that money, right? Because there will become a point where you're what it was called passive income. Okay. So today we're going to talk a lot about active investing versus passive investing. Okay. And one of the things that passive investments allow you to accomplish is we have the money coming in without all of your time being spent to earn that money. So you have money coming in without that time being spent. And what's the ultimate resource in this world? Time, right? Time is the one thing that we can never get back. Time is the one thing that we cannot control. I hold my breath right now for 30 seconds. I'll never get those 30 seconds back, right? So the time is that one thing. So if we can make that income, if we can create that money without spending our time to create that money, then what does that allow you to do with your life? Think about it. What does that allow you to do? You know, so everybody's different, you know? So if I asked you that, go ahead and type it in. If you had all the time in the world and you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do? What would you do with your life? And I would like you to type it in because I just want to show you there's so many different answers. So us at Money School, this is what we do all day, every day, because everybody's different. You know, I've had a lot of success and I still work very, very hard, just like Chris, because there's different levels of success and there's different goals that we're trying to achieve. And I've many times in my life set goals, I've hit those goals, and I've reset my goals to work towards something else. But there will become a point where I don't have to have a Bentley in the driveway. I don't have to have a Rolls Royce, right? My real estate broker that I work with regularly down here in South Florida, you know, I do meetings with them once every couple weeks. We just do business meetings, just talk about real estate and just more business more than anything. And a lot of that stuff I take and I share with you guys. And this guy's a multi-millionaire. He rolled up to our meeting last Thursday morning in his brand new Rolls Royce. But he's a different level of success, you know? Now, do I want to get there? I don't know, because this guy works 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Because that's what he wants to do. I don't know if you guys can tell from my video right now, but I'm sunburnt to a crisp. I took a few hours on Saturday and took my family out on our boat out to the sandbar, and we hung out with all of our other friends on their boats all day long. And before I knew it was 5 o'clock in the evening, and I was literally roasted. I said, I got to get inside. So, but I took Saturday for a few hours to go do that and took some time off. You know, could I have been out there hustling, doing stuff? Yes, probably. But I had at that point worked 13 days straight. So, you know, sometimes you got to try and put a little time aside too, but that time does allow you to be able to do whatever you want. So what is your, you know, what would that look like for you? And that's what I want you to think about as we go here today, because we're going to give you the tools you need. We're going to give you the education you need to eliminate that fear and accomplish those goals. But you're the one that's going to have to write it down. You're the one that's going to have to work and grind every single morning. You know, I'm in the 5 a.m. We're called the Rise and Shine 6-week challenge right now. We're waking up at before 5 a.m. every day and just starting the daily grind. And we're on week 3 right now. And it's awesome to hear people's stories in the group. You know, they're sharing on there, hey, I was able to accomplish this morning, or I was able to get this stuff done that I haven't done in months. So it's really cool to see that happen. And that's what it's all about. It's always constantly setting those new goals. So I can't wait for today. We have so much to share with you. We're going to get into not only, you know, what we're going to go over at the 3-day, but we're also going to start teaching you today. And those of you that have been on these before, you know, we don't really sell anything ever that we ever do, because we don't have to, right? All we do is provide education. And if it's something that makes sense to you, then join us for the journey. You know, if that's infinite banking, let's set up a call and talk about that. If it's passive and active real estate investing, or taking control of your money and hedging against what's coming with the stock market and the upcoming economy and inflation and taxes and all the stuff on the screen behind Chris right there, then, you know, that's what we're going to get into. And we're going to start teaching you right now. And that's simply going to lead right into 3 days of some of the most intense and educational training you'll probably ever receive. So I'm looking forward to it. Just so you guys know, I'll just let you know the dates right now, because we're going to be talking about it, but it's March 26th, 27th, and 28th. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. Eastern time till about 3 p.m. all 3 of those days. So, you know, we'd love to have you, and we'll put the links and all that stuff. But I just want to get right out there out front. We're starting the education right now. So if you're going to the 3-day, don't hop off right now. After you sign up for it, stay on here, because we're covering things right now that we're not going to talk about on the 3 days. That 3-day, because Chris and myself have brought in so many successful entrepreneurs and business people from our network to teach you during those 3 days, we don't have enough time to cover everything. So that's why we said we're going to do these preview events. We're going to educate and teach leading up to it. So I go on rants, but what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And also we're doing 3 of these, and I just want everybody to know that each one of them is going to be the same. So if you have somebody that you care about, somebody you work with, a friend, a family, a coworker that you think would benefit from learning this, even if it's just the mindset piece, Tell them to come to one of the 3 days. These are not 3 different days of topics. It's the same thing each time so that we can serve a larger group of people, getting everybody ready for the 3-day event coming up, like Stephen just mentioned. And I want all of you, right back to the mindset thing, and then we're going to dive right in. I want all of you to understand that your mind is the last unconquered land in the world. And the best part about it is, unlike land that you have to buy, this land is free. But here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem. Whatever you plant in this unconquered land will grow, okay? And it will grow up to be whatever it is. And the land doesn't care what you plant. It's just there to grow whatever you plant in it. And some of you, and I'm going to give you some homework, which is where some of this content comes from. And I know you guys are like, homework, I don't want homework, but you'll love it. Trust me, it'll be the best homework you ever did. If you were a farmer of your mind, this unconquered land, and you planted corn, corn will grow. Okay. And you will harvest the corn and you will enjoy the corn. Corn can do a lot of things. But if you also planted nightshade, which is a poisonous plant, that also will grow. And if you eat the nightshade, you will die. So whatever you plant in your mind is going to grow. So we want to make sure that you plant the right things, because in this last unconquered land in the world, you need to be planting the right things. And many of you throughout your lifetime have had the wrong things planted in your mind, which is why we're always talking about the untruths about money that you've been taught and how you've been taught your whole life to do the wrong things with money. And that has to change now. We have to plant the right things in that mind. And the problem also is this is free. Nobody had to pay to be here. And we just don't value things that are free. But if we pay for something like this cell phone, like this mug, like this mic I'm speaking into, we tend to value things that we pay for. We do not value free things. And this is a free training. So I want you all to plant this in your mind that you paid $1,000 to be here today. $1,000 left your bank account today so that you can attend this. You will absolutely value it more. And I want you to understand that, because that's a very important thing. We do these for free because we would probably do all of our trainings for free. But the problem with free is you don't value it. So in your minds right now, the first thing I want you to plant is that you paid $1,000 to be here today. So what you're going to learn has to be worth $1,000. Fair enough? Homework. All of you at some point or another, I don't care if it's actually, you know what? You know when this should be? It should be the last 30 minutes before you go to bed. Okay, that's when you should do this. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to a computer or your phone. I want you to go to YouTube. And Stephen, can you type this in? I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to watch a video. I want you to watch a video called The Strangest Secret in the World by Earl Nightingale. And some of you have seen this, and I don't care if you've seen it 10 times, you are to watch it again. You have to. Obviously, that material I was talking about, the farmer, the nightingale, and all that stuff, the corn, that's from that. And it is very important that you all watch that, because that will get your mindset right before the 3-day. So Stephen, where do we want to take them? Here, look at that. Avery just watched it an hour ago. Avery, that's weird. I just watched it an hour ago. That's the craziest thing. I swear to God. And Sean will probably listen to it. I just watched it an hour ago. And I've probably watched that video at least 10 times. And I'll watch it another 10, another 100. I'll never stop watching it, because you constantly learn from that. So let's dive in, Stephen. Let's jump in. And any of you, as we're going, folks, you can use the chat. You can click below and type in your questions, and we will both be watching them as we proceed. So what should we start with today?
Yeah, well, I'll pull some stuff up, and as I pull this up here, just, if anybody's new on the call, just so you guys know, kind of how this all became. First off, my name's Stephen Nagy, as Chris said, but, I met Chris a few years back through a mutual mentor of ours. And, Chris was doing some awesome things. I had some really cool things going on, and our mentor was like, you guys should really get together, and, you could probably create some real magic. And so Chris and I got together and put some really, really amazing training together. And we said, let's hit the road with this baby. So we hopped in airplanes. We started flying around the country and doing these awesome presentations and getting people all fired up in the crowds and stuff. And then wham, got smacked with COVID, right? So COVID came around last March and kind of shut down travel. If everybody remembers, I think the 15 days to slow the spread's coming up next week. So It's amazing this past year. But, you know, instead of saying, well, you know, we just put together an entire company based on traveling and doing live events, we can no longer travel and we can no longer do live events. Instead of just quitting and, you know, giving up and maybe pursuing something else or going towards, you know, stuff we were doing prior, we said, let's figure out how to do this. So Chris dug in and, you know, put together a hell of a team and took pieces from people he already had and brought new people in. And, you know, we've created something really cool by doing it all virtual now. And hopefully, I know I see a lot of familiar names on here and I see some new names. So I just wanted to briefly introduce myself. I live down in South Florida. I've been doing this for about 15 years now in the financial and real estate investment world. Was a financial advisor out of college for a couple of years, got introduced to real estate investing and fell in love with it. Got an opportunity to go start traveling the country. I worked for many years for Robert Kiyosaki with Rich Dad Poor Dad, Armando Montalongo doing real estate seminars for many years, as well as a bunch of other people in the financial industry, and just absolutely loved it. So over the years, have just constantly practiced what I preached, got into real estate, have passive investments, do everything that we're going to talk about with self-directed IBCs and IBC policies and have implemented it. So it's allowed me to, you know, I kind of made the decision about 13 years ago to, you know, take that leap of becoming an independent contractor and creating a company and doing everything for myself. And it's been a lot of ups and downs, but here we are today and it's been a beautiful thing in the long run. So I live down in South Florida, as I mentioned, out on the water. I have a 5-year-old, married with a 5-year-old. I live in northern Palm Beach County, right outside of Jupiter, Florida, if anybody's familiar with that. So happy to be here. Couldn't be more proud of what Chris has been able to put together with Money School and MSTV, and just happy to be a part of it and be able to, you know, talk with, you know, I do a lot. Chris is so busy now. I'm busy a lot with our students on the phones, and it just couldn't be, you know, I couldn't ask for more because we have the most amazing students. So anybody new on here, I can't wait to talking with you on the phone. You know, I constantly emailing, text messaging on the phone with our students, and it's just a beautiful thing. So as we dig in here today, just know we're here for you to support and educate and have a good time. All right,
well
I'm going to
man.
pull up, let's see here. Chris, you just want to get into a little bit about Money School and what it's kind of all about?
Yeah. So, I mean, Money School was really created to teach people the things that you're not going to learn out there, that they're not going to teach you in school, that they're not going to teach you in college. Even if you became a financial advisor, what we teach at Money School, you probably wouldn't have learned. It would have taken you many years in the field to even start to see some of the stuff that we're going to teach you. So this is not your normal traditional financial knowledge. If you want normal traditional financial knowledge, this is not it. This is unconventional. This is the stuff nobody's going to teach you because nobody can get paid to teach you that. Remember, I said that before, right? People don't value things for free. Well, financial advisors don't like giving stuff for free because they can't get paid. And I don't blame them. But we've created Money School as a company to literally solve people's money problems by helping them get back control of their money. Because like I said earlier, nobody will ever care more about your money than you. So now it's time for you to learn how to be in control of your money, how to move your money, because your whole life you've been taught how to work for money. You've been taught how to get a job, how to start a business, how to make money. And making money is always a direct relationship of sometimes trading time for money. And unfortunately, many people realize, and I've got a new video coming out all about this, many people realize that it doesn't matter how much I make per hour, I only have so many hours in the day. So my income is always capped. That is because all you've been taught is to work for money. You see, where the endless supply of wealth comes from is when you learn how to have your money work for you. See, then time isn't an issue. Time's the most valuable thing all of you have. And if I could go back and show everybody their comments of what they said when, you know, Stephen asked them that question of, you know, what would you do if money wasn't an issue? Travel, it all was involved around freedom. Money School is here to provide that freedom to you by teaching you how to make your money work for you. All right, Stephen, let's see the slides.
All right. Make sure can you see that?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, yeah. So as actually, ironically, what Chris is saying about money, that's actually one of the things when I first saw him present, I was like, man, this guy is absolutely right. This is how I got started in the business, was a lot of strategies, not using my own money, because I was out of college as a financial planner and broke as hell, which is kind of ironic, but that's a whole nother story, right? So if you look at the bottom here, though, welcome to money school. It's never about your actual resources. It's about how resourceful you can be. And that's what it's all about, because it doesn't matter where you're starting right now. If you have the will and the desire to make something happen, we'll give you the tools and the education to go out there and do it. I hear so much, like, as an excuse, I can never get started investing in real estate, or I can never go start my own business because I don't have the money to get started with it. Well, that's bullshit. And I'll tell you that right now, because there's so many ways you can go out there. And we're going to show you probably 3 or 4 today. Right now, today, we're going to show you 3 or 4 ways to go out there, use other people's money to get your own real estate business started. So, and this isn't all about, active real estate. Again, we're going to talk about passive. So one of the things with where Money School originally began, let me see if I have it here. So where, what is Money School and why am I here? So one of the ways that one of the things that Money School really was developed for, one of his original ideas, and this is when I first met him, he told me about this idea and I was like, man, that is genius. There's so many places we could go with this. But if you take a coin, right? If you take like a quarter, you look at the quarter and everybody, there's 2 sides to that quarter, heads or tails. What side do we want? Well, if you think about it, there's actually 3 sides, because there's the outside rim of that coin, right? And that outside edge of that coin, that outside, that's the 3rd corner, so to say, right? The 3rd side of that coin. And that's where the magic happens. And what I mean by that is, all right, so you have people, really, we work with 2 different types of people, right? Somebody that doesn't have a lot of money right now, but they know there's something better out there. They know that if they can go out there and hustle, that they can make things happen. They just might need a little help along the way getting there, right? So we have those people that are willing to go out there and hustle and do whatever it takes. They just need money. And then we work with people that, they have money. They've had successful careers, or, they have money put away, maybe in an old 401k, or they have money in retirement right now. But guess what? They're scared to death. And why is that? Because the economy that we're in right now is crazy, right? The stock market's at all-time highs every single day, even though we just went through a year-long lockdown and pandemic. And, there's just so much going on right now, printing trillions and trillions of dollars, and inflation, high gas prices, and all this stuff going on, right? Well, we could get into that, but my point is these people are scared. They don't know what to do with their money, or they have it put away right now. A financial advisor is, putting it, managing it for them. So they're paying all these fees to this advisor, or they're recommending out there and put it in, mutual funds or lifestyle funds or ETFs or some kind of fund, right? Where there's all kinds of fees involved, and basically it just follows whatever happens with the market. So when things are going good, like they have for the last 12, 14 years, basically everybody's making money. All good and fine. But what happens with every single market throughout history of all time in the history of the world? Everything that goes up, what happens? It comes down, right, at some point. And we are at all-time crazy highs. And not only are we extending past the typical 10-year cycle of these ups and downs by many years now, but because of all the factors that are going on, when that thing does start to come down, a lot of people say it's going to come down harder than we've seen ever in history. Make the Great Depression of the late 1929 seem like a cakewalk, right? That's what a lot of people are saying. A lot of economists and a lot of these financial experts are all over TV and stuff. So people are looking for alternatives right now, all right? So that's what we do. Take back control of your money and make one change to change everything. And that's what Money School is all about. So we're able to take somebody that has money and educate them, give them the tools to go out there and take back control of that money. And one of those we teach you is how to work with the person over here that's willing to go out there and hustle and do the work. So you take your money, match it up with that person that's willing to hustle, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. So when that person meets that person, that's the edge of the coin. That's the outside, and that's where the magic happens. And that's what Money School is really all about. And that was the original idea. And now it's just turned into so many different strategies and different alternatives to the traditional way of thinking. And we'll get into that right in a second with the IRS. And, everything we teach you comes from sources that we don't make up. It comes from the IRS. It comes from history. It comes from things that have happened in the past that we know are going to happen again. And that's what we teach. We just educate, and you guys can make your own decisions, All right. So check this out. Money School, wealth building strategies. And when Chris and I first met, we said, all right, so what does it really take to be successful. All right. So how do you build not only success in the short term, fix your money problem right now, but how do we create success in the long term? How do we start creating what's called generational wealth, where you're leaving your family and your kids assets, and you're leaving them in a better position financially than when you came into the world, right? And that's what life is all about. So the three pillars of education have been put together through years and years and years of trial and error and doing this and studying and researching. So what we say here is, I'll go through these briefly. Chris, you want to jump in at any time?
Yeah, and I mean, these are great pillars. And, the one thing I will comment on some of the stuff Stephen was just saying is, you might think, when somebody talks about the markets right now, that it's just going to keep going up. Oh my God. Yeah, but that was then, and this is now. If that's what you believe, then you should watch that Facebook video I posted today about 1920s. Okay. It started at 1918, the Spanish flu, i.e. could be coronavirus. Like, I'm just trying to get your mentally to correlate that history repeats itself. 1918, and then the 1920s. Now, none of us, I don't think on here were born in, or lived through the 1920s. So we have to live through videos and YouTube and all those things. But if you study the 1920s, they were called the Roaring 20s. And although the Roaring 20s may have been different than life has been in the last 10 years or in the last couple of years because of COVID, but realistically, if you really parallel the two, they're almost identical. And if you parallel the markets like what are behind me, and you look at the patterns of those two eras, the Roaring 20s, and then you can kind of look at the period that we've been in recently, it's the same thing, just condensed. Everything today happens much quicker because it's a digital world. So things are in almost, supersonic speed. So what 1918 happened to take over 10 years will happen quicker. And what the economists are saying, and this isn't just one, this is many economists with different viewpoints. Some economists are gold bugs, some like Bitcoin, some of them, are an all-weather kind of economist, but all of them, if you listen to them, they're all saying the identical thing. And that is that this whole parade, the shenanigans, the whole bull market is going to come crashing down in 2022 and 2023, just like it started to in 1929. Now, the market in 1929, as if you study it, didn't just crash down. It went down and then it went back up. Does that sound like something you see? It went down and then it went back up. It went down, it went back up. It didn't make any bloody sense. It kept setting new highs. And as it was coming down, then it would bounce back up. See similarities? Well, if you study those patterns, you will. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to get you to understand that there might not be a more critical time in all of your lives. Okay, I don't care who you are in all of your lives to get back control of your money and learn some basic fundamental things outside of just popping your money in the stock market and saying, oh, but it's doing so well. I'm making so much money. And always remember, Warren Buffett said there's 3 principal rules to making money in, well, he said the stock market, but it's really any market. Buy low, sell high, and don't lose money. And that means right now, if you're at an all-time high, what should you do? Well, you should look for an exit so that you don't lose money. But once you exit the market, then you're probably like, well, but then I'm just going to sit there and in cash, and with the government printing money, my dollars are becoming worth less. So all these questions, stop the noise, change your mindset. We got to plant a new crop in there. The crop that we're going to plant is when you're in control of your money, you are free to move your money. And if money is in motion, not sitting somewhere, not parked in something. If money is in motion, it is all weather. It can weather any storm if you know how to do it. And that's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to prepare for what's coming. And I don't care when it's going to happen. I can't tell you it's going to be 2022 or 2023 or what month. It doesn't matter. No one can time the market, but it's coming, folks. And we need to get our financial houses in order, which is what we're going to do. So Stephen, run them through the 3 pillars of education and the 3 pillars of money, because these are critical.
Yeah, absolutely. And so number 1 pillar is real estate. Okay. This is going to be the foundation for wealth, period. You speak to any very, very successful millionaires, billionaires, 99% of them own a lot of what? Real estate. I mean, it's just, no matter what, it always happens. Okay. They either own homes all across the world, or they own commercial properties or hotels or resorts. It doesn't matter. They all own a lot of real estate. In fact, one of the things I first heard when I started learning about real estate investing, is stuck with me many, many years ago, is McDonald's. Everybody knows McDonald's franchises and McDonald's burger joints, right? The Happy Meals and all that good stuff. And, a lot of people think that they have such success because of their systems that they have in place, and they get people in and out so quickly, and, just the way that they operate, which is all absolutely true. That's all a function of business. But one of the things that people don't realize about McDonald's is McDonald's owns all of the property that those McDonald's restaurants are sitting on. And if you think about where McDonald's restaurants are located around the world, on the busiest and most popular intersections and side, cross sections and cities across the entire world. I mean, you go downtown Times Square, there's a McDonald's there. You go to, anywhere that's high, go walk through Paris, France, or wherever, right? There's McDonald's everywhere. So it's just, and what a lot of people don't realize is McDonald's back in the day, they were very smart about what they were doing when they were opening new restaurants, because what they would do is they would go in and they would not only buy the land where their McDonald's restaurant was put in, but they would actually buy all the land surrounding it as well. So a lot of times you'll have a McDonald's right here, and you have a Burger King on the on the road right across the street right there, catty corner. And guess what? A lot of times that Burger King is actually leasing the land from McDonald's. So McDonald's is actually making money off of its competitors at the exact same time. And I just thought that that was such a cool example. McDonald's, they're in the business of flipping burgers to buy real estate. And I was like, well, one of the most successful, me growing up, obviously eating Happy Meals when I was a kid all the time. I always thought that was such a cool thing, and it always stuck with me. And then I started researching it and learning about, okay, so who owns real estate? And it turns out literally everybody does. So it's one of those things that it's there, and it affords so many different types of opportunities for wealth creation as well, both passive and active investing, right? And one of the things, actually, those of you that are on right now, so the training is next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th. However, if you enroll for this class right now before Thursday, okay, so just do it right now and get it out of the way, we're going to give you a bonus, all right? So we're going to give you a free 30-day trial to MSTV, and also as an added bonus, we're going to invite you to come to our 2-hour live group coaching call. So we do this live coaching call once a month for 2 hours. It's Chris, myself, and we bring in 1 or 2 super successful millionaires from our network to just train and mentor you, take your questions, and just drop knowledge on you for 2 straight hours. All right. So this week we're going to have one of the top passive investors. This guy this guy specializes is in buying apartment complexes. So multi-unit, 150, 250 unit apartment complexes. He looks for ones that he gets value adds. So he goes in, he does them all up, and he's going to tell you all about this on the call Thursday. So we provide these different, and he's in, maybe this is a place that you look at investing passively, right? There's just, if you look at real estate, and I'm getting ahead of myself here, Chris, so I got to calm down for a minute, but I got so much I want to share all at one time, and I can't, I know that. So, but 2 hours. So we'll invite you to our 2-hour group coaching as a bonus just for attending this 3-day class also. So it's going to be awesome. So we're going to have a passive guy. We're also going to have an active investor on there that all he does is teach classes on how to become a private money lender and how to flip and wholesale real estate. So he's going to be on there. So we're going to show you the difference between passive and active investing in detail for 2 hours as an added bonus, not even part of the 3-day class. So again, all we do is provide you guys value all the time, constantly. You guys absorb it and apply it. So real estate's so awesome, but there are so many different opportunities between active investing. Again, if you have no money, we will show you how to go out there right now, start flipping property, how to go out there, start a wholesale business, get the money coming in. If you want to create passive income, how to go out there and do the BRRRR strategy, right? Or go out there and obtain rental properties with the BRRRR strategy. Or maybe you're one of those people that doesn't like dealing with termites, tenants, and toilets. I hear that all the time. I don't want rental properties because I don't want to go fix, get a call at 2 about a broken toilet, or have to deal with termites, or have to deal with these tenants all the time, right? Well, we have a guy coming on the 3-day class. One of the, I think he is the top land investor, right? One of the top land investors in the country. This guy's doing thousands of land deals a year right now. So we have him coming on to teach you during the 3-day. So you can get into real estate that way, just buying land. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there when it comes to real estate. But the bottom line is it creates that foundation for generational wealth. All right. Personally, I love rental properties, but I know a lot of people don't. So you can pick and choose what you want. I'm not a fan of flipping, but I know a lot of people that love flipping. So that's one of the beautiful things is you can try what you like, you stick with what you, or let go what you don't, and focus on what you do love to do. So, again, if you hate flipping, why go out there and do that? Like Chris opened up with, you got to love what you do, right? So I don't mess with them anymore, but that's me personally. So, but yeah, real estate, anything you want to add on that, Chris? And
no, I mean, I was a financial advisor for 16 years, and all I'll tell you is out of all the people that I helped, tens of millions and millions of dollars that I managed over time, and thousands of clients, to be quite frank. And the most successful of those clients were in real estate. It wasn't the doctors. It wasn't the dentist. It was always the people that had the real estate, that had the real wealth. And I'll never forget in the crash of the Great Recession, not the crash, but it technically was the Great Recession. I remember a lot of my clients hit really hard times, except for a lot of the real estate investors. Now, I know you would all think oh, well, wait, 2008, 2009, real estate crashed. The guys that were in real estate that I followed, that my clients, they were in real estate and they had rentals and they held those rentals. Now, did the value of their rentals drop significantly? Yes. But did their income drop significantly? No, because somebody still needed a place to live. So I remember thinking, oh my God, these guys are going to, be in big trouble. And I remember meeting with them and everything was kosher. Everything was fine. Matter of fact, they were buying more properties. And where were they getting the money to buy properties? Because I remember during that time, some people would say, oh, but nobody had money to buy property then. Sure they did. Because when money was drying up or when the markets were going down, money it doesn't disappear. Money doesn't just evaporate in thin air. It changes direction. It changes where it goes. And there's a flight to safety. So a lot of that money shifted into buying real estate or into, different avenues where people could then lend on real estate. Hard money lenders, they're coming out of the woodwork. Private lenders were coming out of the woodwork. Why? Because it was the safest place. Real estate single-handedly might be one of the greatest investments of all time because number one, real estate can never go to zero. Now, some of you are thinking, well, yes, it can, Chris. If a hurricane hits my house and wipes it out, it goes to zero. That's only if you were foolish enough to buy real estate without having insurance on it, because real estate can't go to zero. Never has, never will, unless it gets hit by lightning and you didn't have insurance. Well, that's your problem because you didn't plan for that. And the other thing I like about real estate is it's tangible. No matter how you invest, whether you're a private lender on real estate or you're a rental, person, or you're buying passive income or buying rentals or you're flipping houses, there's always a tangible thing. You can always get mad and go there and punch it. You can kick it. You can, do whatever you want. It's a tangible piece of property. And there's not a lot of investments that you can put your money into that has those features. So I always will love real estate, and I don't always talk about real estate as much anymore, but believe me, it's a means, where a lot of my money flows in one way or the other.
Yeah. And Chris doesn't talk much about it, but, had the show on HD pilot episode on HD TV for his own flipping show, Risky Builders, did 260 houses, right?
263 to date.
Yeah. You and Larissa, and the work you guys do is unbelievable. So it's, again, we're not only talking about this stuff, this is stuff that we've done time and time again over the years, and just sharing our experiences and knowledge. And, that's worth more than anything you'll ever pay, is just learning from someone else's experience. And that's what it's all about. And, you're absolutely right with the real estate. I know people right now that probably, and I'm going to knock on wood when I say this, but there's people that probably wish a hurricane would come through and knock some homes down, because I'm dealing with people every day that are buying homes right now for $1, $2, $3, $4 million that they're purposely going in and wrecking the things. They're teardowns, and they're buying it just for the land value. So even if you lose the whole home, the land is still there. So there's just so many positives about real estate, and so much you can do with it, and so many different ways to create success. and incredible money. I mean, I've never seen anything else where you can take somebody, you can teach them with, very little of their own money to go out there, and all they need is hustle, drive, and a will to make it happen. And they can go out there and make good high six-figure income their first year in the business. I don't know anything else you can do except for real estate to do that. So I'm a huge proponent. And as Chris said, even in down markets, even in downturns, even in crashes, I mean, some real estate gets affected more than others. Multifamily is a very, very good place to put money in downturns, historically speaking. In the '08 housing collapse, multifamily barely fell a couple percentage points. And as Chris was saying, rents basically stayed. It barely didn't even come down at all. So it's one of those things that doesn't matter the market. And we're going to teach you not only about real estate, we do now have an incredibly extensive stock market options trading course with Sodi, who's going to be coming in and teaching you guys. Is he coming on any of the previews, Chris?
Yeah, we might have him on like the last one that we do. So that would be the only thing that would be different. I couldn't get him today because, it's a Monday and it's the big trading day. So, Well, he's not trading now, but he does a lot of futures trading after hours. So he was tied up doing that. Well, we'll get him on.
Yeah. So if you haven't met Sodi yet, I mean, unbelievable professional trader that we brought into Money School to basically oversee and run the stock trading side of Money School. And just between the options trading, the hedging that he's doing right now, I mean, even if you don't want to active and passive, right? Even if you don't want to actively get into options trading or swing trading or watching charts or anything like that, why not spend a few hours educating yourself how to protect the money you do have in the stock market, right?
That's primarily what he teaches. Listen, a lot of people think, oh, he must be teaching how to make a ton of money in stocks and in options. No, actually, it's the opposite. What Sodi teaches is incredibly boring, and it is almost exclusively designed around providing income to you and also giving you downside protection through hedging. That is what he's a specialist in. He's not the guy you go to when you want to rocket your stock portfolio to the moon. He'd fail you miserably there. He's the guy you go to when you need to turn a portfolio into an income stream and you need to protect a portfolio of stocks or whatever you hold in the downturn. That's what he's good at. And that's what he does. And now he's, we paid for more coaching to learn from one of the best futures traders out there. And futures is a whole different thing. You guys have probably seen it on TV shows. It's like, soybeans, and you can trade futures on the S&P 500, but it's all those things. And he's been trading that now too. So eventually we'll be talking a lot more about futures trading because it's very unique, highly leveraged markets, and you can make a ton or lose a ton, but that's a neat topic to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So get control of that money though, because you don't want to just let it ride and hope for the best, or you don't even want to think to yourself, if you're younger, well, I can survive a downturn because I got plenty of time for it to come back up. Yeah, you will survive it, but do you want to survive or do you want to thrive in life, right? So when markets get volatile, that's when we make money, believe it or not, right? In real estate and in stocks, you just have to know what you're doing. If it's an up market, throw it at the board. Odds are you're going to make money, right? It doesn't matter, like throwing darts, whatever, you're going to make money. But in down markets, and when things start like we are now, last week we saw some 300-400 point drops, and then all of a sudden 400 or 500 day ups the next day, so you start getting these crazy volatile swings up and down on a daily basis. It might scare you, but if you know what you're doing, that's when you can really make some money and really benefit from it. So, go out there and, if you just are against, learning something new with real estate, taking control of your money, maybe self-directing, maybe you have a big stock portfolio, please at least learn hedging and at least learn a couple little things you can do to take advantage of these up and down markets. Because what sounds better to you? Let me ride it on the way up, and then, okay, it's coming down. That's all right, because I got plenty of time for it to come up later. Or let me ride it up. Let me get out of some of that. Let my money stay up here while the market comes down. Oh, now I got all this money. Now what do I do? Hell yeah. Now you buy now when it's down here, right, and then let it ride back up and do that. What do you think your portfolio is going to look like in 30 years doing that? Sell up here, buy down here. Sell up here, down, buy down here. As opposed to, oh, let's just let it ride, right? And Chris has a really cool example. I still can't do the math because I'm not as smart as him, but where he'll show you, you would think if you make 20%, and then you lose 20%, and then you make 20%, you're even, right? No. It doesn't work that way. Chris, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm looking to see, I do have that slide. Do you want me to show them that?
Yeah, do it. It fascinates me every time.
And hey, listen, before I show you this slide, I want everybody to know that if you stick with us to the end, one of the things I wanted to do is a takeaway, because I know a lot of people are just looking for like that one golden nugget in the training. So what I'm going to give you is what, not just myself, but also a lot of the economists I follow. I want to give you what I would view as a foolproof portfolio. If you were looking for the makeup of a portfolio, not what stocks to own, but just the makeup of what sectors to own, I'm going to give that to you at the very end. I'm going to show you kind of where your money should be going into a time like this. If you truly think something is coming on the horizon, and if you don't think it's coming, then why did the government just print 1.9 trillion and hand that out again? Why was that done? Wasn't the economy kind of already coming out of this? Because it was. Weren't people going back to work? Yes, they were. Did they need to do another $1.9 trillion stimulus? Oh, only if Wall Street asked for it. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I'm going to give you a foolproof portfolio. So, how many of you have ever heard of the average rate of return, right? This fund, I don't want to pick on Vanguard or Fidelity, but those are two of the big ones. This Fidelity fund is got an average rate of return of 25%. This Vanguard fund has averaged 20% over the last 5 years. How many of you have ever heard that? But how many of you have actually ever paid attention to what that really means? Does anyone really know what that actually means? And I'm not sure if you do. Stephen, here, I'm going to kick yours off and go to mine here. So here we go. I'm just going to share my screen. I got to move a couple things out of the way. And then I'm going to show you what the average versus actual rate of return actually is.
And this is so important, especially in this kind of market, right? Again, because you don't want to just let it ride, like learn these little strategies because it doesn't all even out. I love this.
Yeah, and this is literally as bare bone basic as I can make this, but it is very important to understand. So if we're going to talk about an average rate of return, let's just say in the first year, you give your broker, and I always like to, this is an inside joke when we, we're financial advisors, we're always like, why do they call it broker? Is it because they're broker than you? Is it because we're broker than the broker was? It was kind of just a joke, but like if you gave your broker $100 and your broker did a phenomenal job, they invested in you in one of those mutual funds with those big average returns, and they made you 100% return, your money doubled. By year 2, you got $200. But then in year 2, your broker puts you in another one of those funds and, things just don't go so well. So you lose only 50%. So remember, you made 100% the first year and you never sent a thank you card to your broker, but then your broker loses you 50% the second year. Now you're pretty upset because now you only have $100 in year 3, but it's okay because you got faith in your brokers always comes around, and he does. He or she returns 100% that third year. You're back. Baby, we're back. You got $200 in your account. And then unfortunately, that fund just doesn't quite hold up in year 4 and it loses 50%. You've got $100 left and you've been in this for 5 years. What is your average rate of return? It's 25%. Do the math, folks. If you did the math there, your average rate of return over those 5 years is 25%. It's simple mathematics. So how many of you want one of those fancy dancy funds that shows an average rate of return over a 3 or 5 or 10 year period of 25%, if that's what your 25% meant? But what else is missing here? Did the broker work for free? No, I'm sure they charged you at least 1%. I'm sure that mutual fund they put you in had an expense ratio of, 0.5%, plus you had to pay the broker 0.5%. So you're in 1. So you had to pay that. And if this was not a qualified retirement plan, you had to pay taxes. So you don't even have $100 left. But also over 5 years, what happens to your dollars, folks? Do your dollars become worth more or less over time? Your dollars become worth less. So your dollars diminished over 5 years because of inflation. It's a pretty important topic right now. A lot of people are talking about inflation, but that's how it works. So let me get out of that slide and stop sharing here. There we go. Stop the share. I want you to think about that. So that's just a super elementary kind of thing. And some of you, we do that a lot because it's important. But if you got $100 in your hand, your $100 it's the most valuable $100 you're going to have for a very long period of time. And what I mean by a very long period of time, forever. This is your most valuable $100 because over time, this 100 becomes worth less and less because of inflation. How many of you have filled up your car lately? I just filled up my truck, $63. And I remember, man, that's more than it used to. It is because gas went up. Okay. How many of you went to the grocery store and you just noticed that the same dollars you used to spend a week now only get you a lot less bags now? So what is that? That just means that the goods went up in price. No. Everybody wants to think that the goods went up in price. That's not what happened. Your dollars became worth less when they printed 5 trillion or whatever they're at, $5 trillion. It's called inflation. And inflation is something the government wants. You all think, oh, the government doesn't want inflation. Sure they do. The government is severely in debt. They want to pay back that debt with weaker dollars, not more expensive dollars. They want the dollars to be weaker to pay that debt down with weaker dollars later. See what I'm saying? Not only that, the government is very, very, very scared of something called deflation. Study that. Inflation is not the problem for the government. Deflation is. The reason they printed 1.9 trillion is they want to curb deflation. And by printing money, they create inflation, which is what they want. But what they're going to realize soon, and what every economist knows, and I think what the government knows, because they're smart people, is they're going to lose. But they can kick the can a little further because they're playing the political game, and they are. And that further, we're way past that. So folks, don't be tricked by what's going on. Don't be tricked by this thing like inflation and, oh my God, my dollars are going to be worth nothing. Because the big thing that we all need to worry about is deflation. And that's probably what we're going to see in the next couple of years. So let's go to the second pillar, which is kind of what I just kicked off, and that's money. You want to pull that up, Stephen?
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right. Yes. So money obviously is a big one, right? Again, most people think to themselves, I got to have money to make money, or money's the thing holding me back, or I have all this money. What do I do with it? Right. That's not a bad problem to have, but it can be though, right? I mean, you don't want to lose it. So money's a big, big deal. So we actually spend an entire day on Friday of the training. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We spend an entire day on Friday just going over money. So sources of funding, how to use different types of banks, when to use a community bank versus a commercial loan versus a private money lender versus hard money. So we teach you all these different techniques. And even if you have a lot of money, the majority of people that I know are still following these same strategies we teach you Friday to do deals. I mean, I just talked to Chris Root a couple of days ago, who's one of our investors in our network that's doing amazing stuff right now, especially with affordable housing. So quick turn single family homes and mobile home parks. He's starting to expand all over the country right now, becoming one of the biggest mobile home park investors in the United States. So, I was just talking to Chris the other day, and I was just saying, because we have a lot of students that want to invest with them and want to get involved with this, which is excellent. And Chris, I mean, if you guys know Chris Root, Mr. Naugle, you were just down at one of his houses on the beach in the panhandle of Florida a couple of weeks ago, right? I mean, Chris Root has a lot of money. I mean, the guy's very, very successful. And he was telling me that all the deals he's doing right now, he's using other people's money. So, there's a reason why people do that. First off, you can scale, you can leverage. This is all stuff in real estate and with money. That's very important. I mean, one of the things I love about real estate and money that combine is leverage, right? I mean, the fact you can go out there and you can spend, you can buy a $500,000 home with $50,000. All that is leverage, right? 10% down, and you can pretty much buy any house out there, maybe 20%, depending on what you're doing. But I mean, with a little bit of money, you can own a very, very high dollar asset. So just leverage and just how to use money, how to work money, how to lend money. So whether you need money or whether you're looking to deploy money, so your money goes out there working for you just as hard as you work to get that money, we're going to teach you strategies during these 3 days, and it all starts first thing Friday morning. And this is one of the most valuable parts of the training. I mean, this is Chris, I'll help him out a little bit and give him a couple little breaks, but this is pretty much Chris going for 4 hours straight, just emptying on you
4 hours. I never finish on time. We're actually pushing it an extra hour with bonus.
I know. So 5 hours Friday. I mean, it just goes on sometimes. We've gone 6 hours sometimes, but we'll keep going. But this is Chris giving you 16 years of his experience as a financial advisor, all these years now in real estate, and just laying on you how all this stuff works. And it's one of the most valuable trainings. I will say it's not the sexy part of the training, right? It's not going to be, how to go out there and make, $70,000 on a real estate deal like that. But it is the foundation and the base that you need to know no matter which side of that coin that you're on, because it's very, very important.
Yeah, that's definitely that. And what we're going to do at the 3-day is, we did it last time and we're going to do it again. And every time it changes, the 3-day is never the same. The speakers we have on this 3-day are different than the speakers we had on the last. There might be a couple that are the same, but we've got a bunch of new speakers. Like we listen to you. We listen to what all of you say. You all, a lot of you, not all of you, but a lot of you kept asking for crypto, Bitcoin, all this, the Ethereum and all these things. And I'm not an expert in cryptocurrency. I'm just not, and I'm not going to be. But what I did is when I was in Salt Lake City, Utah, at a very high level, expensive mastermind, every person at that mastermind spent on average $20,000 to sit in that seat. And there was 16 of us. And one of the people there was a utmost expert in cryptocurrency. But what I liked most about him is he wasn't some fast talking sales guy. He does it himself. He's been doing it for a long time. And he's basically teaching people all about cryptocurrency, how to use it, what to look out for, and all that. So now we've got that added to the platform. Hey, listen, we always have to change it. We always have to keep up with the times because things are changing and they always will. And even if you can't watch them, so somebody was just saying can't watch the 3-day, it's always recorded. So every single person that registers for it, it's recorded and we send you the recordings, of course. Like that's just part of it. Like not everybody can give up 3 straight days. We know that, but that's the beauty of doing this virtually. You don't have to be there. If you're not there, we send you the recordings. And here's a cool thing that we just started doing. And we just did it at the last 2-day event. The way we're recording now is actually done in a different way. So it's much easier for you to start and watch the recordings in segments. A lot of people's mindsets, like sitting down and watching a 4-hour recording is tough. So what we've been doing now is breaking it up into sections. So you go and you watch the recordings and you get different sections, different breaks. It's easier for the mind to handle that. But money is such an important topic. And I do spend nauseating time on that. And Friday at the 3-day, I'm going to do a bonus session. Now, the bonus session, I got to be clear, is not recorded. I don't want it recorded, to be honest with you. I'm going to talk about things that are very much my opinion, and I don't want them out there in evergreen. So we unrecord the bonus session. And it's the end of Friday. We're going to do that. So one thing, if you guys had the option to kind of be at one of them, you'd want to be at that because otherwise you won't see the recordings. And we definitely get into the weeds. We go way down the rabbit hole, and it's going to strictly be on the markets. Okay. It's going to be on different things you need to know that are coming, because all I do is spend way too much time studying and reading and really looking at the patterns to try to get a feel for what is coming. How do you prepare for it? And how do you come out of what's coming way on the top, not in the middle? I'm talking, how do you look at what's coming and be at the top of the mountain when this thing gets there? How many of you wish you could take a time machine back to I don't know. Let's just go the most recent one, 2008. How about we could go back to 2007 into 2008, knowing what we know today? How much money could you have made in 2008, 2009, 2010, if you just knew the things to do then? Okay, let's make this easier. How many of you wish you could just go back to last March when the COVID hit, and just like the screen behind me showed, when the market just tanked in a matter of literally a month? How many of you wish you could have went back and bought companies like Tesla? You could have bought anything. Southwest Airlines, Tesla, IBM, any of them. You could have bought any stock. You could have just closed your eyes and thrown darts, and whatever you hit, you would have doubled, tripled, some of them even more. How many of you wish you could have gone back then and bought Bitcoin or crypto? Think about that. That was last March, folks. That opportunity will come again. But now let's be honest here. So a bunch of people are saying, hell yeah, so much. How many of you did buy in 2009 and 10? How many of you were in a position when the market was crashing in 2008, 2009? How many of you were able to buy real estate? How many of you were able to buy stocks? How many of you were able to take advantage of it going down? Okay, that'd be an interesting thing to see. How about in March? How many of you were able to buy on that couple month hiatus when the markets fell there? I know I'm not the only one, but most people, if we did a poll of all the 85 people we have on here, would say no. And that was simply because you weren't prepared for it. But you need to be prepared for the next one, because what would your life look like if you could just go back to last March and do the things that, you know, you wish you would have done? What if you just went back in March and you just bought 1 or 2 stocks and you pretty much went all in on it? And what if you did the same thing in 2009? What would your life look like now? What would your bank account, your 401k, or any of your accounts look like today? The answer is just a lot better than it does now, but we miss opportunities, partly because of fear, but secondarily because of lack of knowledge and planning. That's it. Remember the mindset. You were scared, like so many other people. The people that weren't scared took action. I took money from my IBC, my infinite banking policies, and I bought stocks. Now, the only mistake I made, and it wasn't a mistake at all, it was actually very intentional, is I sold too early, because I follow a set of rules, and all of you should too. Because if you don't follow rules with how you invest your money and what you do with your money, then where's the exit? Literally, like if you put your money in a particular stock, or you put your money in the markets, we're all talking money here, and you don't have an exit strategy, what happens? I'll tell you, you lose it. Because if you don't have an exit, your exit is when the market goes down and fear sets in, and then you sell low. That's what the average person does. They sell low and they buy high. What are people doing today? They're plowing money in the stock market. They're buying high. And what more than likely, what will they do? Sell low. That's what they do. And I'm not trying to like bash on anybody or be negative on anybody, but think about the pattern. People buy into the excitement of now. It's like a gambler mentality. Oh, everything is going up. I don't want to miss out. Just like 1928, 1929. Everybody was buying in because their friends, their family, their neighbors were all buying. Oh, I don't want to miss out. I got to buy in. And then what happens? They all lose because they're buying high and selling low. We need to buy low and sell high because we don't want to lose money, which is the plan. You need to have rules, and we're going to teach you those rules in the 3-day. I assure you, I'm going to drive those home so heavy that some of you are probably going to be like, well, that just seems like that's stupid, because why would I have sold that when I could have made way more? Because you got to start following the rules. Life and the rules you're going to follow are your rules, not mine, not money schools, the rules you set for your money. We need to start applying different sets, different rules for engagement of our money. And that's what we're going to teach you, is those, so you can be in control. All right, I went too far on that, but
hey Chris,
yeah.
So my buddy that told me that his exit strategy for GameStop is the moon. That's not right.
Well,
they're all going to the moon, right?
Of course, GameStop's going to the moon. You know, I mean, sure, that's the right one. You know, the cavalry isn't coming this time, so yeah, that's the right one. Let's just take it to the moon. But that's oh my God, it's so funny you said that. So I just finished a video and I posted it on my pages in the Money School Facebook pages, and it was all about 1929, then the Great Depression. And there was actually columnists, very popular columnists, that said exactly what he just did. So where are stocks going? Where are the markets going? She said, to the moon. And she was I swear to you, she was one of the most well-respected stock pickers or analysts or whatever they called themselves of that time. And she said the moon. And where did it go? Well, it didn't make it to the moon. So let's talk about legacy, because as much as it's great, you know, to do a lot and make a lot of money and have a lot of things when we're living, what really, really matters is not so much what we do for ourselves, but what we do for the people we care about. And that some of that has to do with legacy. And I love legacy so much because I respect what the Rockefellers have built into their family culture. Now, I don't respect a lot of things about the Rockefellers and what they do, but one of the things they built in was a legacy set of rules, so that every single person, every single family member in the Rockefellers, they don't need to guess, they just follow the rules. And the rules are, we're going to set up future generations so that they are better off than we were in ours. And that is called legacy. And there's so much about legacy, but can I just tell a story, Stephen, about legacy?
Yeah, please.
How many of you would love to set something up today so that when we're gone from this place, when we're gone from this earth and this life, and we have a very short period of time, but when we're gone, every single month, a check is sent to our grandchildren, or we can say our children, if you're younger like me, you know, a check is sent to our children. And then when they have children, a check is sent to them. And on every one of those checks, it has your name. So that when you're gone, maybe you've been gone for 10, 20 years, but the grandkids' kids, you know, are having kids. And those kids get a check every single month from grandpa. And grandpa's been gone for 20 years. How powerful would that be? And the check doesn't have to be big. Let's just say $100 every single month came from grandpa. And grandpa, that kid never even knew who Grandpa Chris was. Never met Grandpa Chris, didn't even, and the kids barely even, well, I don't remember Grandpa Chris either, but what he did is created a legacy that outlived his time here. How powerful would that be? You know, I often think about that. And I think about that because when I was a financial advisor, I think one of the consultants came in and told a story similar to that on how a very wealthy family set it up. And he set it up so that when he was gone, there was checks, and they were small checks. I think they were $50, as a matter of fact, a month were sent out. And they went like, I don't remember how many generations into the future, but they had it set up through trust planning and through these different, legacy planning that they did. So that check got sent. That to me just was like, wow, that is awesome, because your name would never die, and your name in that family would be remembered for generations and generations. So I think I'm done on legacy, but that's an important thing.
You're absolutely right. And the best part is you don't need Rockefeller money. You don't need millions of dollars to set this stuff up and make it happen for your family. You know, we work with people every day that are just implementing simple strategies like infinite banking and, creating these specially designed policies that we do that is setting up generations to come. And it doesn't take a lot. So don't think that, you have to be super wealthy to implement these strategies to create a legacy. But, not only, creating that for the generations to come, but, when we talk about legacy, Chris hit on it a little bit with trust planning, but let me ask this question. Do we live in a litigious society these days? Are there lawsuits all over the place, right?
All over the place.
So when we're talking about things like owning real estate and, generating wealth, who do you think lawyers target? People with money, right? So we're going to bring in experts to show you how to protect your money, how to protect your real estate, how to protect your assets, how to follow these simple, easy strategies to make sure that you don't go out there and become very successful and lose it all because some asshole fell and tripped on your property and, hurt himself and now thinks he's entitled to everything you worked your ass off to earn in the first place, right? And that happens all the time. So we want to protect ourselves also. So, we have a couple really, really, really solid asset protection and estate planning companies we work with. Who's coming on this one, Chris? Because I know we kind of...
this one's going to be Brent, so from Corporate Capital.
So Brent Carlson, the CEO of Corporate Capital, will be on, and he'll be teaching you on Sunday how to start protecting this stuff, how to start setting it up so it does pass down the right time. And, a big part of what we do with the infinite banking, and if you guys have seen that, that's the money multiplier, on Saturday, or actually, I think Brent's coming on Sunday this time, right, Chris?
Yes, the times are changed. Yep, because we have new speakers.
So Sunday's going to be all about legacy then, because between creating these specially designed policies and protecting what you have and setting it up in the proper way, I mean, when you start talking about asset protection and these different strategies, another thing that plays into it, and we're kind of running out of time. So, typically we talk a little bit about, let me just scroll down here for a second, the three enemies of why people don't create success. And we can get into this, or maybe we'll save this for the next presentation, Chris. We'll get into all this. But if you look at number 3, just real fast right here, taxes, right? Taxes are something that just are going to drain you. And what are taxes doing right now?
Going up, baby, going up. Those might be going to the moon.
mean, it's not even fun. They're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Oh my
I mean, I
gosh,
see all the
it's
new
terrible.
stuff right now. They're putting it right out there in the wide open that, hey, not only are they going to be taxing the very wealthy a lot more, but it's gonna hit all different tax levels. So it's coming whether you want it to or not. And again, I've said this a million times on these trainings. I'm a big believer in helping other people. It's one of the reasons I do what I do with these trainings. But I also think there's a lot of government waste out there, and I think I can manage my money and do better help myself than giving my money to somebody else where it goes through 100 different layers before it actually goes to somebody to help somebody. So if I can help my community locally, if I can help different causes that I like through things like GoFundMe, that's what I'm going to take my money and do. So if I can save money on taxes legally, and by the law, following what the IRS guidelines say, I'm going to do that every single time. And I'll tell you, I remember this. This was a long time ago, but I still remember it to this day. It was the first year I made over 6 figures. And I was young. I was in my 20s. I thought I was doing awesome. And I was introduced to an incredible accountant that used to work for the IRS and really knew his stuff. And I had already started buying real estate. And I already had a company. So I had all this stuff going for me. And when he showed me my tax, and I wasn't paying taxes on a regular basis. When you own a business and you're a contractor and you do your own work, you don't pay taxes until the tax bill comes due at the end of the year, right? So I was expecting a very, very high tax bill. I made 6 figures. I was single. I had all this stuff going. And when he showed me my tax bill after all the legal deductions and everything, like my mouth fell. I was like, what? Like, that's all I have to pay? And so it's unbelievable. And so there's all these, so we're going to, when it comes to legacy, it kind of falls in with taxes, because that's money that you're giving to someone else that you could be keeping within the family to help your local community and other people. So I'm a big, big, big believer in learning these strategies and working with the best of the best to save on that stuff. So, between those 3 pillars, I mean, it's awesome what Money School is going to teach you guys.
And hey, with this 3-day, I remember we just talked in the last huddle, there was something unique we were doing at this one that we've never done before. You want to tell them what that was? Like, what are we giving them outside of the 2-hour? If they register this week, they can get the 2-hour group coaching this Thursday. So they get that thrown in, and that's kind of a free thing. What else are they going to get? And then what is that really cool thing that we decided to give them for free for just registering?
We give away so much. I don't want to get this one wrong. So I'm going to let you announce it, because I might say something thinking about a different thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. So what we were going to do this time is we're doing a limited edition shirt that we're giving away to each person that registers for this event. And, we've never done that before. So we're giving that away for the 3-day. March 26th, 27th, 28th are the days. You get full recordings of that. We give you 30 days free to MSTV. You get the 2-hour group coaching, which the 2-hour group coaching as a standalone, and you get a couple other things with this, is $997 a year. And you're going to be able to come to one of those 2-hour group coachings and see what they're all about. I mean, it's super, super easy to kind of click the button and register. Those are the times that we're going, 10 to 2:30. But remember, Friday, we're doing a bonus session. So you want to make sure that you allow that bonus session, give an extra hour. So on Friday, peg off till 3:30. And what we're probably going to do is a separate bonus session on Saturday as well. And we'll do a poll while everybody's on and see if they want to, do another bonus. So I might do 2 bonus sessions on the same thing. And here's the reason why. The bonus session, some people register for the 3-day training just for the bonus session. That's how good it is. And it's an hour long. And if you can't make Fridays, remember, we don't record it, that I don't want you to miss it. So we might go and do the same thing Saturday. So I think I'm going to give you guys my time and give you a bonus session Friday. If you can't make Friday's bonus, I'm going to give it to you Saturday, because a lot of people were upset last time. They couldn't make Friday because of work. And then because we don't record it, they're like, well, that sucks. That's why I was here for that. So we're going to do it again on Saturday. And you can see here's the different things, the market patterns, the predictions, prepare and adapt. And there's your different speakers. We're going to be covering cryptocurrency for the first time ever. You guys are going to love that. We're doing all sorts of different things this time. Get all the way down. There's the different speakers we've got. Spencer's our crypto guy, and I've vetted him and talked to so many people in nauseating detail, because I've always shied away from crypto guys because they always seem like they're trying to pitch something. Well, Spencer is going to educate, And he does have a program, but when you see what it is, it's not like all the other guys. Jack Bosch, getting him back again was awesome. You know, he's going to teach you something that we're applying here. Dimitri, I think, is still here today, but he's been going through the program and already he's got 2 properties under contract. One of them is a lakefront piece of real estate that he's already got multiple deals lining up on that. And he's only been doing it now for a couple months. We got Chris Rude. Who else we got? We got, of course, Steven's going to be there speaking on self-directed IRAs. We got Bo. We got Kevin Shortell's back. So he wasn't on the last 3-day. He's like the notes guy, right? You're looking for the most passive type of investing in real estate. Notes might just be that. If you learn the secrets that he has, man, you can make a ton of money. As always, Brent Kessler back. We got Brent Carlson back. He wasn't at the last one. And then we've got other speakers also coming in for this event. And here's some of the stuff we're going to get you. It's too much stuff to really go into. You get the event recordings. You get access to our file vault, which are all the tools, Cashflow deal inspector.
Join us for one of the next previews too. Again, each preview is going to be different. So we will go through the file vault on the preview. We will not have time during the 3-day to do so. And these are all the tools that you need to either put deals together or evaluate deals if you're private money lending. So even when you're out there in the field, you just want to get a quick idea, you know, how much is this rehab cost on this property? You know, you just input it in these little forms. This is all stuff Chris has developed over 260 flips. Hey, what do I need to do these deals quicker and faster? This file vault, he's giving you everything that he created, including the credibility builder, which will get you all the money you'll ever need. So you know, we have the money. The money's going to be there for you between strategic capital partners, between Bo Winder with seed capital, between using different types of leverage with banks, between private lenders, hard money. It's all going to be taught to you on Friday. But these tools are important for evaluating deals.
Absolutely. And then let's see, we got the self-directed IRA. Do you want to talk a little bit about what they get with that? Because that's been another really important thing that people really love.
Yeah, so self-directed IRAs, I'm hoping we can get into that a little bit during the preview. If not, we'll definitely cover it on Friday at the 3-day. But self-directed IRAs are, you know, if you have an old 401k, or I know a lot of people have lost their jobs during COVID, so maybe you have that 401k now sitting there, you know, move that money over and take control of it, all right? A lot of people don't realize, but less than 4% of all IRAs are in this country are self-directed. You need to take back control. Stop giving your money to financial advisors. You care more about your money than anybody else in this world, all right? So take control of it and go out there and start following these strategies we teach you and deploying your money and putting it to work. But we work with a company, and if you do open up a self-directed account through them, Horizon Trust Company, as a money school student, they do waive the $350 setup fee they typically charge to set up a self-directed IRA. They waive the $350 for you. They give you a dedicated account representative. Her name is Brandy. She only works with money school students, so you get the support and help you need. And they're just an incredible company. They do really, really good work. So you do get that self-directed IRA with this also. And we'll talk about the differences in you know, IRAs versus solo Ks versus checkbook control, you know, when to use which, and, you know, the difference between traditional retirement accounts versus Roth retirement accounts, and how these are going to play into your overall strategy along with your infinite banking policies that you have. So we'll get into all that with you on Friday.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's just so much that we cover that, like, we do these, you know, these previews and we kind of try to really get into stuff, but there's just never enough time to get into it. The 3-day really does cover a lot of it. But again, the 3-day is get right into it, get ready, sharpen the pencil and start writing. And, you know, the unique thing I think about what we do is a lot of people, you know, when they go to an event, they think every time they go to that event, it's the same. And ours are always different because money is changing. Opportunities are changing. What you do and how you do it is changing. Every day I'm learning. Literally, like just today, like I had some time this morning because one of my podcasts canceled. So I watched a video on the Great Depression and I picked up a lot of unique things that I didn't have prior to that. I'm constantly trying to work on this thing. And then also watching, what was your homework? Can everybody tell me what your homework was? Does everybody remember? What's your homework? Tonight, before you go to bed, you have one thing to do. Can everybody tell me what the homework was for today? And I know people hate, yeah, but what are you going to watch on YouTube? What were you going to watch? Because you can't just say YouTube. You got to know what. There you go. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And that is a mandatory thing. And I promise you, if nothing else, when you guys watch that, you'll understand why I'm making this such a big deal for all of you to watch that video. Very important. Even if you've seen it 10 times, watch it again. Here's what I do. Stephen, well, actually they can see this. If you guys are looking, this is just a piece of paper with lots of writing on the front and the back. When I listen to something that motivates me, I write it down. It takes sometimes listening to it twice or stopping and starting it again, stopping and starting it. And I do that because you realize like there's different parts of your brain that activate different or that work different ways. Listening to something is one part, writing it down is another. If you do both, you remember more of it. Proven fact. And that's why I do this. And I did this on 8/16/2020. Okay, the date's right at the top. That's when I did that. I watch this video all the time and I write down more stuff. I have more pages than this. And, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock, the door shall be opened unto you. And one of the unique things he did in this is, let's see, the difference between conforming and creating. And you guys can watch the video and understand that difference, but I want all of you to know that you are all creators. And that is why you're going to succeed, for that simple reason. That's the difference, okay? You're going to think and you're going to create, and we're going to get you there and help you do it, because we're going to show you how to solve your money problems, and how we're going to give you, or that solving your money problem is going to be done by you getting back control. So Stephen, one of the things that I wanted to do before, we kind of get to the end here is I wanted to give them an all-weather portfolio that I've been learning about by all these economists. So here it is, folks. Let me just get this out. I'm not going to say this is appropriate for everybody. I'm not making any suggestions or any stock tips or anything like that. I'm simply showing you what I've learned through these videos. So here it is. All weather, 30%. And some people are going to think I'm crazy. Cash. Okay? Cash. So money that is sitting ready to deploy. 10%, I would say, or less in equities. 15% in alternative investments. So alternative investments can be a lot of different things. They can be utility companies. They can be real estate. I mean, we could just stop right there. 15% in alternative investments. 10% in gold. And I'll also add, you can mix it up between gold and gold mining companies. Okay. These take longer to get a return, but I've been investing in them because I want to get up to 10%. I'm not quite there yet. I've been slowly buying, but I wanted to buy when the market was high because gold is lower. Okay. Gold works inversely. And can anyone guess what this last one is? Does anyone know what this 35% would go into? Because this is probably going to be one that's going to really, really surprise you. But let me just give it to you. U.S. Treasury bonds. And I know you guys probably are like, oh my God, those things are so boring. So, why would we put 35% in U.S. Treasuries? I'll tell you why. Although you might not like the U.S. government, here's what happens. Here's interest rates, okay? Now, interest rates are pretty low right now, but they're not. In March, when the market tanked, interest rates, I got to change my color. Come on. Sometimes this board gives me what I want. Sometimes it doesn't. So when the market tanked, what did interest rates do? Interest rates came down, right? These were interest rates. The Fed dropped rates when the market dropped as well. And then when the market came back, or has been, interest rates slowly have started to come back up. You guys are seeing it today. So interest rates are starting to creep back up. If you look at the 30-year mortgage rate, they're not as cheap. And you're hearing that. It's actually hurting a little bit of the real estate market right now because rates are starting to come back up. So what happens, okay, and I'm just going to draw an X. Here's bonds, okay? So bonds have a middle ground, and this is called the yield. Stay with me, folks. Yield is just the interest rate. Let's just say bonds are only paying 2.2% right now. Let's just say that's your yield. That's always constant. Okay, but bond prices, so most bonds are priced at $100 plus or minus, depending, it's called par. So if interest rates go down, bond prices go up. So right now, let's just say rates are 2%, and I'm just using a number arbitrary. Well, let's say the Fed, because of what I think is coming and what the economists think are coming, let's say the market does drop, okay? 2022, 2023, the market drops. When the market drops, what will the Fed do? They'll pull interest rates. interest rates will be brought down to, it could go down to zero. Do you remember in March, in April, in May, in June, they got rates pretty close to zero. Did they ever get to zero, Stephen? I know they were talking about going negative.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right there. Do you realize if we went from where rates are right now to around zero, how big of an increase do you think bonds would make, Treasury bonds for that? Well, the economists have already told me 40%. 40%. In something that is guaranteed by the US government that pays a consistent yield. Now, nobody should get excited about 2.2. You guys can make more in the infinite banking, but why would I have money here at 35%? You know what else I would also call this? How about we get rid of US Treasury bonds and we get something that has a lot of exposure to that? How about whole life insurance? Because insurance companies are one of the largest purchasers of treasuries. And I'm not trying to kind of pitch the two, but I'm just saying, do you think they know something that we don't? And if the US government bonds go up by 40%, isn't that where you'd want your money to go? And that's going to happen when the market goes down. Okay, when interest rates go down, they're speculating that you could see anywhere between 20 to 40%. So if everything's falling apart and the Fed drops interest rates trying to curb what's happening, isn't this where you'd want money? Well, it sure is where my money is going to be. I'll tell you that right now. And then also gold would be a good place to be at. How about real estate? We already talked about that. All these things are things we talked about today. So although some of you are like thinking we were just talking, do you realize like we're painting a picture of what you need to be prepared for? That's the whole thing. Planning, changing your mindset. Your mindset will determine where you're going to go. That's it. So you better start thinking about these things. So take a picture of this or whatever you guys have to, but this is what most of the economists are agreeing on. Give or take this. Some people are saying 15 here, less there. Some people are saying 10 there, 15 there. This varies a little, but it's pretty anonymous that this is what they're saying will be a good portfolio going into what we see coming. Now, this is tough because this requires people to go from what right now, probably a lot of people are 100% in equities. So you have to do what Warren Buffett said. You have to sell, sell high because that's where you should be. 10% in equities, 30% in cash. Yeah, but Chris, cash is going down in value. Indeed it is. But when everything falls apart, cash will be king and you will need to buy. And if you don't have cash liquid, cash also doubles up. Where else would be an equivalent to cash? That's right. Those specially designed and engineered privatized banking policies work just like cash, but give exposure to US Treasuries as well.
And to me, if you really want to, to me, cash means anything that's liquid that I can turn over within a couple hours, right? So maybe I take some of my cash and I'm following the 10-10 trading strategies and doing some up and down swing day trades.
Lots of things you can do.
So you don't have to necessarily just leave it sitting there. There's places you can stick this cash, like in a whole life policy, where it's still growing for you. Or if you have a little more risk tolerance, you can play with it, quote unquote, right? So you're still growing it. It's not just sitting.
So here's the other thing too. Someone said, keep cash in my mattress like my grandparents did, or where do I keep cash? That's right. I mean, cash is a tricky thing, but I'm going to tell you it's going to stay in banks. But how many of you, and I want you all to be honest with yourself, like, listen, this is important. How many of you have all your cash at one bank? Okay. How many of you have 100% of your cash at one bank? And I know you guys don't have to admit to this, but I want you to think about that. How many of you have it? Okay. Now, how many have 100% of your cash at two banks? And we could play this game all day. We could go 3 banks. We could go 4. But what we need to do is, if you're going to keep cash, and this is going to be different for everybody because it's depending on how much cash you have. We need to play. You guys ever remember the cup game? You guys remember that game, like with the cup? They put the cup upside down and then we'd hide something, and I'm drawing that picture wrong, but you guys remember that, where the cup, and you shift the cup around, you move the cup up, not under this one, up, not under this one, up, not under this one. You need to do that with your cash. So these banks aren't just any bank. Maybe this is your main commercial bank. Okay. And you keep, I would say, never more than 10,000 in any one bank, even less in some cases. Second bank might be a community bank. You want to build relationships with banks? Okay. So maybe in community bank, maybe you could go a little bit more. How about credit union? You see what I'm doing? I'm not just spreading my money amongst many banks. I'm spreading my money among the type of banks. I'm playing the cup game. Okay. Oh, no, not under that one, not under that one. Why would I want to do that? Well, because if I need 30% of my money in cash, and I know we're going a little over time, I hope you guys are okay with this. If I need 30% of my money in cash, do I ever want to go into a bank like we did in March or April or May and say, I need to take the cash out of my account because you need it, right? You need it to invest in something or that. And the bank says, I'm sorry, we can't give you all your cash. Do you want to play that game? No. Well, a lot of people did in March, and a lot of people did the same thing in 2008 and 9, and they realized that they weren't in control of the money that was in their bank account. The bank was. And the bank told them how much they could take that day and what forms they needed to fill out and all the specifications, the bank's rules for you to take the money that you gave the bank to hold. So you literally gave the bank your money to hang on to, and then they tell you when you can have it back. Wouldn't it be easier if you had 30% of your cash in a bank to have it split up among a couple different banks? Okay. And then when you went into bank A, you took out $5,000. You went into bank B and you took out 20 grand. You went into bank C, took out 10 grand, another bank, 10 grand, another bank, 10 grand. And then you had 100% of all your money in one day. You didn't have to fill any forms out because you didn't take that amount over, the amount over that form, whatever that is. You didn't have to fill any forms out. You literally just had to get in your car and drive to the different banks that you set your cups up at, the cup game, and you got all your cash back, and now you're ready to go deploy that. That's a smart tactic, folks, and that's one you guys should also get ready. So there's another golden nugget. So there we go. Look at some of these people. Keep it rolling. Right, you're right. Keep it protected and keep it in your control. And if you're going to use banks, you're already giving up control, but we all have to have a bank. We all do. Limit your exposure to any one bank or two banks or three, depending on how much cash you have. Limit the exposure over several banks. I like to play the $10,000 rule, never a penny more than 10K in any one bank. And I can pull it up right now. And even except for a couple of my business accounts right now, you will see not one of my bank accounts, not one has more than $10,000. And I get cold sweats when one does because of that, because I've seen this happen. And because when this does happen again, I want to literally get in my car and I want to go to all my little cups and I want to get all my money and I want to be ready to deploy that money any which way I want. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, we'll talk about the different types of banks and why to use each one and
Absolutely.
when to use them. Somebody was asking in the comments. So we'll talk all about that on Friday at the 3 days. So don't worry, we do go into depth on that. All right, Chris.
That's a wrap, man.
Feeling good. All right, cool. So so thanks everybody for being on here. We look forward to doing the next two previews as well. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. So hop on those. Those of you that know you're going to attend the 3-day class, even if you can't make it live, go ahead and enroll now. We'll send you the recordings, but let's get you on the 2-hour group coaching call this Thursday as well. It's at 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We just set the clock, so I think we're on daylight time now, right? Is that how that works?
I have no idea.
So 6 to 8 Eastern time, we'll get that going. But yeah, I mean, we're here, guys. We're looking forward to working with you. We're here to solve your money problems. We're here to teach you to take back control of your money, and that's what Money School is all about. So thank you for being here. And Chris, I'll let you shut it down.
All right. So I got one more thing for all of you, and you guys maybe have gotten this before, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to have Shauna tomorrow with this recording. I'm going to send this recording to all of you. Okay. And I'm also going to have her include two things. Number one, we did this magazine. It's pretty neat. It's got a lot of great stories in here, a lot of cool things about fear. This is the only thing I really care if you guys read is this is about fear. But I'm going to send this, the magazine, okay, which I haven't been giving that out as much. And I'm also going to give all of you this, which is a quick start guide. It is 22 and a half pages of big writing. Okay, none of that small writing that's hard to read. And this is going to teach you some of those principles of what you should be doing with your money. So we're going to send you the quick start guide and the magazine, and we're going to give that to each one of you. And I also want to say that one more time. If you know somebody, friend, family, coworker, anyone that you care about, tell them the date for the next one and tell them they need to show up, because this is timely information and time needs to be on your side. And your rules of engagement need to be set and ready for when this happens. So with that being said, folks, I hope all of you join us for the 3-day event. And I hope all of you will tell somebody to join us the next time. And until then, I'll see you guys next. Well, said next time too many times. We'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks.